Hey preschool team, I'm here to tell you about what we are doing this weekend in preschool. We are continuing our Ridge Kids National Park series talking about Joshua and God's promises. And so this weekend we're actually focusing on Joshua chapter 9. So it's all of Joshua chapter 9, and it tells the story of the Gibeonites and when they fooled the Israelites, and how Joshua and the Israelites fell for it and they did not pray or talk to God about the decision they made when they decided to make a treaty with them. So we're focusing on how we can and we should talk to God before we make decisions. And so we're talking about prayer. And so the promise for this weekend is that we can pray to God for help because He promises to always hear our prayers. And so our craft this weekend are these two hands. They will not come connected like this. They will be two separate hands. Yours might be a different color. And then there will also be this sticker, and the sticker says, I am praying for. And so you're going to help the kids think of things that they're praying for or that they can be praying for, and help them write them on the fingers of the hands. Now, there's 10 fingers, right? Or we all should have 10 fingers, but when we are writing these, we don't need to fill all 10 fingers. That's going to be a lot, especially for our 3-year-olds, to think of all those different ideas. So have them come up with a couple or some. Maybe you can even encourage them to continue to think of things that they can pray for. They can add some at home. Maybe mom, dad, grandma, grandpa could help them with that. So you don't have to fill all the fingers, but help the kids write on the fingers some things that they can think of to pray for, or maybe that they already are. So on here, it can be a person. I have people like mom, my sister, teachers, our country, our church, kindness, like for God to help me be kind, to obey. So anything like that. It can be anything that they're praying for. You might get some fun preschool versions of things that they might say. And it's very, very sweet to hear what they are praying for. So those go on the fingers. And then once you have that, the hands kind of go like this together. And that is where the sticker is used to connect the hands. The sticker is like a piece of tape, basically. But it also says what we're doing with these hands. It tells the parents that these are things that we're praying for. So the sticker just holds them together. And that is the craft. If they want to color on them, they can color on them. Maybe encourage them to not color over the words that you've written on them, but that's the craft. Our activity for this weekend is, if you've ever heard of ACTS and following a method of how to pray, it's that, except we are using preschool words to help them think of how they can pray and what they can pray for when they are talking to God. So you'll have 4 laminated sheets, and they will have a prompt on them. So, for example, part of prayer is praising God. So it will say, I can praise God for ... That is a prompt for one of your kiddos to think of something that they can praise God for. Who He is, something that He did for us, any of those things. So there will be 4 different prompts that will help us learn about how to pray. So you will have either a dice or a spinner that will have colors on it, and you will have a kid come up and either roll the dice or spin the spinner, and it will select a color, and that color will coordinate with one of those prompt sheets. It's a laminated sheet. It's just a little, I don't have it to show you, but it's just a little 8 by 11 sheet that says, I can praise God for, like I said, or I can thank God for. And so if it's yellow, then they spun a yellow or they rolled a yellow, then you'll pick the yellow one, and maybe the yellow one says, I can thank God for. And they can think of something that they can thank God for and share it with the class. If you need to help them with that, feel free to help them because they're learning. And if you need to give an example beforehand, I would love for you to model to them things that you can praise God for or thank God for or ask for, and so on. So those are things that we want them to get thinking about when they're talking to God. So that is a game or activity. You can ask the kids to come up, take turns. as to who wants to do it. Give as many of the kids turns as possible until they lose interest in that. The other thing I want to remind you about for this weekend, it's a wacky weekend. So we sent kids home with stickers on their shirts last weekend that reminded parents or families that this weekend is wacky weekend and they can wear their hair crazy or wacky. They could wear backwards clothes, mismatched clothes, whatever they think silly and wacky is. So that's this weekend. If you would be and so willing to participate in that, it will make it so much more fun for the kids to see you also dressing wacky or silly. So of course you'll also have your sticker for the kids to add to the wall. You guys know what those look like, so make sure you're adding your new sticker and not one of the old ones that's sitting in the classroom from last weekend. But that's pretty much all I have for you this weekend. I will not see you this weekend. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask Bree. You can ask your team lead, and they will be more than happy to help you. If you don't have their contact information, now's a great time to ask for their number or their email address so that you can keep in communication with them. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Bye.